So this project I started this summer, and tonight I laid it out. These beams were cut off from the carport out front because we thought when the shed came in it was going to stick out too far. So we cut that much off of that carport. Now that I know the shed wasn't going to be as big as, the city didn't let us make the shed as big as I wanted it to be. So we could have kept it. There's other things we could have kept too that we took out. But that's the way it goes. So the wood, this wood here was salvaged wood from in the Rogue Forest, where they had a breakout or something in the trees, and they were saving some of them. But what I've noticed is the wood that I've left out in the weather started growing again, the fungus or whatever. So I'm going to have to defungicide these before I can use them. But this deck is, it's overkill heavy, but it's just going to be for this Bowflex to get set back up on because it's too big for the garage. And I have enough of this scrap wood that it's going to go to waste anyway, so I might as well use it for this. So this area out here is our this is kind of our entrance. So I've added an old wood ladder that was broken. I have some lights hanging up there that come on at night. This year they started failing a little bit. They come on every other night or whatever, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is, right? And I have a painted hand saw, and the saw blade I picked up I think for like $3 or something. It's got some kind of scene painted on it. And I just have solar lights under here. I go to a cell over here. So that's it. There's George and Barbara Bush, the runaway bushes that I cropped these suckers down to the nub down there where there's almost no green, and they still grow and cover the window. And then over here is God's tomato bush, which I just picked another Cool Whip container full of tomatoes that had turned orange, but I've put them in the house in the heat in the window, and they turn a lot quicker than leaving them out here in the cold. But there's probably less than a Cool Whip container left on their greens that the weather looks like it's gonna hold, so they might make it. And there's my redneck door cover over the front porch. We had an awning here that we tore out because we thought it was going to be in the way of the garage, and it came way out here where there's a low spot, and I wouldn't have took that out if I knew the city wasn't going to let us build the garage as big as I wanted. But hey, at least we got a garage. The city almost didn't let us put a garage in because they wanted us to put it behind the house, and there's no access behind the house, and there's no room for a garage behind the house. And we're on a flag lot, so it's not really like a big deal. This spring I gotta get this thing sealed in. It's the boards are weathering pretty well. While they were moist still, I screwed them back in, anything that was warping. So everything's back together tight. It has a wrap on it under that, but if anything else, I can replace a few sheets of T111. When we started building this garage, if I remember right, I think it's 30 by 24. That was the biggest the city would let us go. When we started building this, we had the plans all ready and everything, and then inflation hit and the prices went through the roof on everything. T111 was like $80 to $100 a sheet, so we didn't get that right away. And what else went? The concrete was phenomenal. It was insane that the concrete prices went up so high. So this slab we had poured a little thicker because I didn't know about it at the time, but later on we found out that the soil here moves. Winston is a riverbed at one point. And according to one of the other contractors I talked to later, he said if you don't dig down 4 feet at least, your foundation moves. So on the mobile home, we had it leveled and wasted money on that because the doors wouldn't close and so forth. And the inside's fully remodeled. We left the outside incognito mode. I didn't want to make the city think it was anything special, so you know how they are with taxes. So we fully sheetrocked the inside and everything. And the nothing cracked inside except for maybe on one ceiling. But the foundation that winter moved. And the doors didn't work right. All the doors. This door on concrete, same thing. I've had to cut. I'm making a custom door latch for it that I've been wallering that taller. So down here I've drilled and drilled to waller that out, and it closes now. Now in the spring it'll be at the top of that latch. That's how much things move in this soil. Look, and here's Gravy. Hi, Gravy. Gravy is one of the feral cats that we care for. There's more than a dozen feral cats here. We found someone to help with the cost of getting most of them fixed. There's still a few left, but most of them have been spay, neutered, whatever you call it, and shots. Oh, and let me introduce you to one of my other art projects here. I want to make another one of these. The pterodactyl. I had a broken limb saw. It was broken, the handle was totally broke, the mechanism was broke, and I go, man, that would make a cool pterodactyl. So I had this leftover piece of a floorboard that I designed the shape out of and kept legs on it. It's just kind of basic. Put a stick on it to go into the mechanism of the saw. And there's my pterodactyl. You can spin him around or whatever. Sometimes in the wind he'll move, which is kind of cool. He's agreeing. Goes, yeah, I'm cool. So that's it. All my wall art and junk. Tin Man 1, Tin Man 2, Tin Lizzie the horse, or pony, or what, Lizzie, whatever, I don't know. Tin Lizzie stuck in my head when I was finishing it, so the name stuck. I think it's kind of cool.